go live now.
Alright. Alrighty then. Hello everyone. Welcome to Trekyards. I'm here today to talk to you about a topic from Star Trek Prodigy, the new show. However, not all of us were released from our cryopods at the right time. I think it's rude to wake somebody though, so we might need some super chats to wake somebody up, because that's how this technology works. So if you don't want to see him even in the video until the last minute, don't super chat. Or if you want to be that annoying guy that does and forces him into the spotlight, when he starts hearing the word super chat, he just starts to stir. It's amazing. This oh, I guess I said it. Technically, I said it, didn't I?
I heard super chat. What happened? Oh, my goodness. Oh, shit. Look at the time. It's live time.
Stuart, you're 433 days late. It's Discovery Season 5. What are your thoughts on Discovery Season 5, Episode 2? The Wanton Will.
I haven't seen it yet. And I couldn't be that long. I don't feel well rested.
You've never been to sleep that long then, because you do not feel rested.
Hi guys. We're gonna talk about sleeper ships today.
Curveballed me with that one.
Oh, we got some super chats as well. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. First strike. Get like. That's awesome. That's good first strike.
Oh.
And SCS Gordo 2000, €5. Do we know when the Tellarites achieved warp capability? Depending on how early their ship launched, it might explain why Pog looks different. It's a sleeper ship. It doesn't need warp. That's the point. They aim it in a direction, put everybody to sleep, and yeah. So yeah, they don't necessarily need warp to be on a sleeper ship. Just saying.
That's a real interesting side point. This will be an interesting discussion, because there is some stuff here.
It's like the Botany Bay. The Botany Bay is a sleeper ship as well.
Wait.
Didn't have warp.
Botany Bay. Botany Bay? Yes, Botany Bay. Oh.
Got to get out of here now.
But Chekhov, you weren't there. I was in the toilet.
I was taking a piss. I saw this guy.
That's literally what Walter says. He was in the bathroom. And he almost die-harded it, but then didn't quite. If only kind of been charged for like another hour, he would totally have come in and saved the crew. You know, John McClane style is definitely what.
Hashtag facts, man. You're spewing the facts.
Hashtag Walter is real, is reality. Sure thing, buddy. But yes.
35 of you here, 25 likes. What's up? Hit that like button. Everybody should be hitting it.
They should. They really should.
Ooh, Mark Lawrence, who's been a member for 22 months, almost 2 years, at the rank of Federation President.
Goodness.
Salute you, sir.
Crazy.
That simple line of dialogue, that simple mention that he's from a sleeper ship is more explanation than we got for the way things were in Star Trek Discovery and Picard. With little details like that in the show, with limited time per episode, means these writers know it's important and care. Yeah, you just said it all right there. That's perfect.
And thanks, guys. See us, join us tomorrow for another live on another topic. Since President has, like you say, had such a good point. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I was just going to lead into that kind of whole send-off thing, but my internet went for shit. I don't know why. There's nobody here. What the fuck? Stop it.
Well, I'm going to start sharing.
Go for it. Just don't fall asleep. All right, guys. 41 of you here, 28 likes. Hit that like button. Super chats are a great way to get your comment read by us. We do read them all on air. So if you have a thought about this, if you have a theory, if you want to expound on something we said, if you want to steer the direction of a certain conversation, have us discuss something, super chats are a great way to do it. Plus, they show the support for the channel. So if you can, please do. Make sure you're subscribed. Obviously, hit that join button. Perhaps join the channel. There's a lot of different ranks you can join at, and you can do these cool little messages here that are highlighted from members. So if you want to check that button, just click the join button. You don't have to, you're not obligated once you hit it. You can check out the different prices and you just say no or cancel or hit the X, whatever it is. I can't even remember now. So if you want to do that, please check them out at least. Or if you want to help us on a monthly basis another way, you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards. There is a link to, well, there's not a link. Yeah, there is a link to it in the description. There's a lot of links in the description. Go check those out. One of which is the TeePublic store, which right now has a 35% off sale. So check out some Trekyards merchandise if you're able to. We'd really appreciate it. You can also send us a PayPal. Just send a PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com. Let us know that you sent it on the regular chat, and we will read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. So lots of great ways to get in touch with us and have your voice. So if you're able to, please do so. We'd really, really appreciate it. And of course, the easiest way is just hit like. Tell everybody you know that likes Star Trek about Trekyards. Participate in the conversations, even in the regular videos. Just comment down below, and do all that stuff. Help out the algorithm. Help out the channel any way you can. It's all really appreciated, and it doesn't require money. So if you can help us out in any of those ways, we would really appreciate that. But super chats during the lives are very important. They do help us continue to do the show. And yeah, so if you're able to, we would love to, hear from you guys. So, and the super chats, like I said, show that you want to support the channel and us keep bringing you this content. So, yeah. It's getting comfy in this not very comfy chair. So there we go. All right. Hopefully I'll be back in a second. Tell your friends, your family, your clergy, tell them to hit like. You get paid for watching YouTube videos, big money. Ooh, you get paid to watch YouTube videos. That's cool. Hello from Xenia, Ohio. Nice. Hello, David. Hello, everybody. Ozzy, Tizangari, Procyon, Dan, Alex, Wouter, Dave, Mark, everybody. Warpig, great name, especially her discussion on Tellarites. So yeah. Mark Lawrence throws in a $5. Ooh, and money for channel, since that other thing isn't money. Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated.
But yes, I'm back. Hi, Stu.
He's back. Hi, Samuel.
Yes,
Maybe it's all just a dream while I'm sleeping. I don't know.
No, when in Chronicles Riddick, they say don't dream in cryosleep. So depending on which continuity we use. Whereas in Stargate, they actually pumped in a dream illusion into their brains, so they would dream in cryosleep. Also, because
that's actually a real concern they have with stasis in real life, because your body will snap you awake during a dream if something bad happens or you're having a terrifying nightmare. Your body will wake you up. If they can't control that and you're dreaming for an uncontrollable amount of time, it could cause some irreparable damage to your brain. So they're actually really concerned about that. So, just saying.
I also read somewhere that the brain needs stimuli. So if you don't have him dream and stasis as well, the brain will atrophy in its own unique way because it's just not living. So you've got to feed it with something. And like that's why simulations work better in that theory, because they're fully controllable. Yeah. So Stuart, what did you think when they mentioned Alpha Quadrant sleeper ship? Obviously, I upgraded it a little bit to just make it more generic rather than Tellarite. It's What did you think then?
I really appreciated the line. I heard it the first time, and I was like, "Ooh, that starts to explain some things." And I really like that. We got a few explanations in this one, where they're located, the Hirogen system, and also the Tellarite sleeper ship, as you said. So lots went through my mind, but I appreciated just that one little line of dialogue. So I was excited.
And not just that, but his phraseology was specifically, "I remember it from the sleeper ship." So this is his generation, and let's assume he's 15, say. Let's assume Tellarites are roughly the same as humans with what they can remember. So only 10 years ago he was on a sleeper ship. I mean, would you call it a sleeper ship if your parents
wouldn't, like, if they woke up and then they had you on the ship, would you call it a sleeper ship still? Would you call it a generational ship or a colony ship? So it implies that maybe he was, his son was in status only like 12 years ago. Like, in his living memory, it was still a sleeper ship.
Yeah.
Possible. What do you think?
Well, there's a lot of explanations for that as well. I mean, a lot of these ships designs, if you are having a generational sleeper ship, you might want to wake people up in like shifts or blocks to man the ship. And then, after a year, they go into cryo sleep for 5 years or something. Again, to keep the mind and the body kind of doing their thing. So it could have been that, yeah, he was with his parents who were operating the ship, or they launched. Could be that they launched and were in space for a few months before they got everybody into the cryo sleep or whatever. There's a lot of explanations for that. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It depends on their the way they had it structured, I guess.
Because I certainly didn't think Botany Bay style sublight. For whatever reason, that didn't cross my mind. I thought more low end warp.
Could be.
Because it would seem, again, it's literally any way you can take this, but if they're pre-warp Tellarites, then it feels like they wouldn't deliberately go all the way to the Delta Quadrant. Whereas if it was an explorer ship that was Enterprise era or whatever, doing a low yield warp or something of that ilk, whatever, who knows? Then it's more like, oh yes, it's one of our many exploration cruisers that just happen to be, long ranging because it has to be long range. But if it is sublight, then they could be from the 400 BC,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a sublight would have to be, which is interesting. These are proto Tellarite, but then all of his knowledge of spaceships is based on after he woke up, because that ship wouldn't be advanced enough to know. You've seen one spaceship, you've seen them all. Well, not if this ship is brand new. The technology disparity would be too great. Scotty didn't understand how the Enterprise D worked.
Maybe. I was going to say maybe he got abducted by aliens and it wasn't an advanced ship and they let him.
And his name's Quill.
Yeah. Well, he did say it's a Tellarite ship though specifically. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't necessarily assume it was a sublight ship, but it's a distinct possibility because we don't know when they launched. It could have literally been like their first attempt to go colonize another planet, and they maybe overshot it or something and kept drifting because it's been quite a while. Or it could be, in fact, low warp. So it's really hard to pinpoint. It would be great to know what year his ship launched. That would definitely help the calculations, but we just don't know at this point. So
because we know it's 70 years at Voyager high warp, which exponentially increases for every other warp speed. So it could be 500 years at medium warp, or low warp, and that's if you're using TNG scale versus Enterprise scale. But just the fact that he knows how tech works. If you if he's been if you've come from a ship which is basically using rocks and rocks, leaves and moss and introduced to a sports car, could you learn all of the tech in sort of 5 years from being a child, 7 years from being a child, and now be so carte blanche about it? I don't think that's natural enough. Whereas if he came from a warp capable ship, warp drive, an engine is an engine, it might be more advanced, but you understand the basics, or at least the tech manuals do.
You got to remember the name of the show is Prodigy as well, which implies that one or more or all of these kids are in fact prodigies, which are child geniuses. So if when he got captured or whatever, he had an acclamation, he was drawn to the technology, and they showed him how to fix some things, and then he just kind of learned on his own. That's it.
So it's kind of get out of jail.
It was a distinct possibility too.
So kind of get out of jail free card a little bit with, why is he so good? Because he's just so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's possible.
And my buddy Sky is totally convinced that the diviner keeps saying prodigy when talking about his daughter, but he says progeny, which progeny is offspring.
Progeny.
Yeah, he's like, I really like the prodigy character. It's like, huh? That's progeny. It's a little too similar for a lot of people, I guess. So
you definitely brain. It's like when CinemaSin says, roll credits when they name the film. It feels like every time they say it, just a little bit too close.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Because I like the idea of it being an Enterprise era ship. They're pretty advanced. They know what they're doing. They say, even a star. Well, wouldn't be but they can't know about the Federation. Well, that worked for Enterprise if it was early Enterprise, but that's the thing though. If the ship is still in one piece, then he's been kidnapped, prisonered, but that's not any of the vibe he gave. Because the ship can't have had knowledge of the Federation because that would be a 101 teaching your children. So it had to be pre-Federation at the very least. There's a metric it has to be.
Unless he was so young when the ship got captured.
That's the other equation, yeah.
Or he was released from the
sleep. Hey, go back a second. What if it was a early Federation ship, got captured by Diviner? That's where they learned about the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
He was so young, like you say, he survived the great trials of Kandrok and became a servant on it, and that's how he knows all about it, because he captured a Alpha Quadrant Federation ship. That's cool. It happens to be a byproduct of that experience.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, though, when the Kazon brought the Cation, and she, if you ever bring one this young again.
Also true.
Implying that, because there's no criminals or orphans that are, that's too young. So it kind of almost knocks that whole theory out the window.
No, it does. It does for sure. Because that's the thing. There's so many context clues. Because none of this we thought going in, but it's all just breadcrumbs. Because Now that's not to say that if they're about the same age, would she have that same mentality when she was 6? Would she be the one walking in? Oh look, it's a Tellarite, Daddy. It's my age, So that slight disarm, but I really like that idea. But it doesn't really help because it could be either way still.
No. Well, while we're thinking on it, we got some super chats. We'll get to those. That might generate some discussion.
Yeah.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. No legal trek outside North America till 2022. # shiver me timbers. Yeah, everybody's been yelling at me about that today. It's like, have you heard? Have you heard? It's like, yes.
Let's do a poll.
Oh, good God. All right. James McGill, $2. Trekyards, stimulant for your brains. You guys are radical. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
See, everybody in cryo sleep should be just pumped Trekyards episodes into their brain so that when they come out, they just know everything about us. That's what should happen. Just saying. Keep their brain active. SVS Guru, 2,000, €5. It could be their initial destination turned out to be uninhabitable, and they had to keep going all the way into the Delta Quadrant. Could be. Maybe they didn't have the technology to redirect the ship necessarily. Well, he even says, you could just turn left or right. That might be helpful in one episode. So,
which implies he's never piloted a ship either, because everyone else seems to pick it up so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, especially if they were going. But at what point do you say F it, we won't turn around? Because halfway to the Delta Quadrant is still halfway back to your own planet with your own species. Because then you're saying,
what kind of resources and do you need to turn that ship around? And if it's one of those ones that is a one-way ship where it gets launched and its momentum carries it, and you don't have the fuel,
that's a different thing. Yeah,
you don't have the fuel of the engine to turn around and refire to go back at the same speed. You know what I mean?
But that's real proto. That is bottom bay level.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what Tellarite tech is. We know it's higher than ours by quite a bit. That's probably going to be at least sort of the year 1000 AD. You would have that level further back. But like I said, and then Jank and Pog. But no, it doesn't matter. He could still be. Well, that's the question. Is the ship still around? When was he taken out of stasis? Was he born after? Because you could see maybe there was a baby boom after everyone came out of stasis. Been cold for a few hundred years. Let's get warm all of a sudden. Oh no! Now we've got lots of babies. And so he's a first gen descendant.
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing is, his character isn't framed in a way that he has this awful trauma of seeing the colony ship blowing up in front of his eyes. Like none of that is there. Like he's
Well,
kidnapped, sure, but that does not imply destruction of my entire identity, at all.
yeah. I think it's interesting that they called it specifically a sleeper ship and not a generational ship.
Yes.
If they had said generational ship,
Yep.
it could be that it was out there for quite a long time, many
Yeah.
generations, to the point where Earth almost becomes like a legend or a myth. So maybe the talk of the Federation wouldn't have. Well, that would be way too long then. Yeah. Yeah.
But it has to be pre-Federation.
Maybe it used solar sails, early Bajoran days, when humans were still in caves. Well, let's see. I am Misi puts in $10. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
He did seem impressed by Warp 9, which is fairly standard during the 2380s. Well, no, he didn't seem impressed. He's just like, these things will take us to Warp 9, assuming we don't fly apart. Which, yeah, I guess does say that maybe it is a little bit cool for him, but...
So, great observation. I took it one of two ways. One, a ship this size with warp cores this small, that's so advanced. Yeah. Warp 9. Yeah. And there isn't much Warp 9 in the Delta Quadrant. Most races don't have it small. Oh, this is one of those races that does have Warp 9. That's so cool. So I think he understood Warp 9 happily. It was just... this. I mean, everyone's impressed by the Defiant, how small it is, warp core, yet power level. So I think it was more that vibe. Because they were damn small warp cores. That's what I took from that scene.
And Dan Ben says TNG Emissary was a Klingon battle cruiser and the crew slept on it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which definitely feels parallel. So I'm hoping to see Klingons. You know, one sleep ship into the Delta. Oh, both in Delta Quadrant. Yeah, there you go. One popped off a few years ago. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure the actor that was the captain is still alive, having to do some voiceover logs. You know. I met this guy 30 years ago. I was drugged back there. You know.
Yeah. SVS Guru 2000 throws in €10.
Boom.
Awesome. I am thinking, though, that the sleeper ship has to be low warp. Even if you push sublight engines to just below light speed, it would still take thousands of years to reach the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
Yes. Barring any anomaly like a wormhole or a black hole that might slingshot you around it and increase your speed, or lots of things can happen in space. But yes, you're absolutely right.
And the more contrived add-ons, the less engaging. Because the thing about warp is that obviously you're in a subspace bubble, so you are protected from a lot of the universe. You're not going to be hit by a neutron storm directly, or you know. So there's a lot of protection by being even warp 1. Yeah. It's interesting. But also, how big is the ship? Was it an explorer with a couple of families? Was it Sleeper also doesn't say colony ship. Doesn't give that vibe.
It's the thing that comes to my mind immediately, though, because a lot of these talks of like going to another planet to colonize it would have to be done that way, and that makes sense. You know, a couple hundred people in sleeper pods, but that's the thing I think of. But yeah, it could be a much smaller ship. We just don't know.
Also, the bigger the ship, the harder to build at the time. I'm just going to explain why the two Tellarites on screen look extremely different. I mean, let's be honest, now you actually got a direct comparison, they are very not similar. They're almost hard to compare, really.
There's a lot of similarities, though. Like, you got to remember he's young. This guy, other guy's old.
Sure.
They got the sharp teeth. They got the piggy nose. He's got the hair starting to grow here and here, which on the other guy is just a big beard. So, I mean, yeah. I can see a lot more similarities and differences, honestly.
I think part of it, though, is the fact the mouth is absolutely most of his face, whereas the other guy, he has a human-sized face, so instantly he looks like an alien because everything is just bigger. But I like, then, if he is not even culturally Tellarite. Culturally. Like, I mean, he would not think of himself like that, but if his family, if he's, you know, further away from the generational, you know, the sleeper ship, and they didn't feel like they need to follow the traditions of the Tellarite, then, you know, shaving... You know,
well, he's young though. He's young. I assume he just hasn't grown it out yet.
I felt this is intentional. Like this is a little soul patch. I don't think all.
It's starting to grow though. Like that's where it starts on like some kids. You know, my son has like a little bit of peach fuzz up here, and a little bit here. You let that grow, and then anyway.
So you're saying Tellarite hair grows a little bit on the top like a plant, a little bit there and a little bit there. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
very possible. I think it more is he's deliberately making a look because he's not sticking by the culture of having a beard, etc.
No, I just think he's way too young. I totally disagree with you there. And the cultural thing, he's still argumentative. He still wants to prove Janeway wrong. he's still got that Tellarite, attitude of argumentativeness. So,
but that's a genetic trait, not a cultural trait. Just like Mirror Universe,
it's not a genetic
people
trait,
are being
though.
evil.
It's definitely a learned trait. That's not something genetic to be argumentative.
Well, but that's the things that define that culture. Well, I mean, Vulcans aren't genetically logical. That was a pure cultural thing. But the Klingons are a bit more violent, because they have all the extra bodily anatomy that lets them. They can headbutt each other with pure aggression. It won't actually hurt, like damage them. They have two hearts. Like they can deal more physical damage. So for them, aggression is variable context, where they can stab each other and bash each other, and it's not aggressive to them. But obviously, I'm going through our cultural lens, but they're more aggressive because they can afford to hurt each other in ways, where pain is literally about pain. Yeah. They're able to take it that we can't, so we take it as more aggressive. So their culture is, I don't know.
I disagree. I think if a Klingon was raised on another planet that didn't heard about the Klingons, and everybody else was weaker than him, he wouldn't automatically want to take over. Nature versus nurture. If he's raised to be a good person, he could be like a superhero.
All I said was more aggressive.
Well, that might be
that's just a human norm. I don't mean like evil. I mean, Worf is more aggressive, right? He represses it, but he is more aggressive. But yes, you're right. He socialized better, but he's still aggressive. That's the whole point. He's still, he never met a Klingon.
But he also knew about Klingons and aspires to be a Klingon and to be the perfect Klingon, as we've talked about many times with Worf. He's more Klingon than most Klingons.
But can you learn to be meaner in Russia in a Federation side where everyone's being nice? He's actively trying to be mean because Klingons are mean.
Not being mean.
Well,
I never classify Worf as mean.
I mean aggressive. I mean, how that shit. His mating, his want to mate and bite things. That's not cult. He's not learned that by reading. Because Klingons like to bite during mating. It's a purely instinctive thing. I'm just comparing to human norms, right? I'm not saying literally like 500%. I'm just saying, compared to the human standard.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, though. I mean, the Aussie in Lower Decks, Australian with a ponytail as a Tellarite. I mean, he's probably shaving.
There's purple hair, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, space dye. Well, I mean, Tindy can make her skin blue. I would assume hair is like follicles.
I know, but why would Jankum Pog have purple hair naturally then? It just seems...
Well, he wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure that's dyed.
How's he going to dye his hair in a prison colony?
Easily.
It wouldn't be dyed. It wouldn't be dyed.
Oh. Well, you find a mineral. I mean, a mineral that burns the follicles.
You're not worried about your looks when you're trying to survive every day in a prison colony.
When you've got nothing else to do, Stuart, maybe you are. It's all you have is how you look and how you feel.
Disagree.
Well, no. What
Boimler's hair. Yes.
Yeah. Prisoners in prison get ripped because what else they got to do?
They have nothing else to do all day.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he's got a bit more to do mining, but mining and whatever.
But prisoners in prison don't put shave shapes into their hair and dye their hair. I don't know. It's just...
I feel like some do.
No, not really. Mary Alpha says stew is one of the types of food served aboard the Tellarite sleeper ship. Yes,
it was.
That's what we've been talking about.
I'm sure lots of food is served. Now, is that a hint as well to pre-replicate attack? Doesn't necessarily mean that, but could that be a hint?
No, because maybe. I don't know. He didn't seem at all amazed by the replicator. Just like, I want this, this, and this, and don't skip on the gravy. I was like, ooh. It's not like, oh my god, and tentatively taste it. Like, how's this gonna taste? It was like, oh yeah.
But did he understand what a replicator was? Maybe he just thought it was a food hole, like in a food hall where they just give you food. I agree that he wasn't confused by it, but maybe they've told him about it. Are they making slop in the prison, or are they replicating it? It's cheaper to replicate it, surely. So maybe he's just learned it by being there.
Don't know.
Don't know.
He was worried about paying for it as well, Sergeant Montgomery says. That's actually a good point, which is pre-Federation, I guess. Oh, but that being said, he's also been on this prison facility where I'm sure he's heard of credits and
stuff. But you also can't buy anything. You can barter, but why would he have? He's not earning money, so that would have to be from his pre-prison days. It would have to be. And I can imagine there's money on a Tellarite ship because from traveling for 60 years and you want to... But why do you even know about money? So that implies maybe the ship went somewhere, docked somewhere, became part of an ecosystem. We saw in Voyager that one episode where they get the Badminton racket thing that spins, and they have to trade, they have to do currency stuff because that's the where they are. So many contest clues.
Eric Martin, $10.
Ooh, Eric.
They joined this live chat. Had a terrible day, but I thought I'd share some cash with you. The internet froze there. Sorry. Just joined this live chat. Had a terrible day, but I thought I'd share some cash with you guys. I certainly earned it today. Keep talking, and I'll keep working.
Well, good job for earning it. We certainly hope we're entertaining.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We had some good thoughts already. If you want to have a chat, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
See how this poll is doing. I've been keeping an eye on it. Do you want us to talk about the Disco Netflix thing for a bit in this live? 75% say yes, and 25% say no. Stick to Prodigy. With 51 votes. Wow.
I think that's conclusive, guys. Stuart, did you hear that all the titles are named after jazz musicians?
No, but that's so cool. Where'd you get that bit of information? I've never heard that before.
Okay. This is the other thing everyone wants to talk about.
That's something we're going to be talking about in 10 goddamn years. Just saying.
I was watching this Wrath of Khan video that Stuart made, and the jazz musicians. And we just combine the two stories, it becomes really confusing. And then Mike on Twitter, it's about... Yeah. Okay, Stuart, so what's happening with Discovery and Netflix for those of you who don't know?
Apparently, anywhere outside Canada and the US, it's not available until 2022. I don't know the date, though.
No one does.
I know the international date's been pushed back.
Yeah,
which is dumb. Sorry, but that's Discovery. That's... Well, Prodigy will be... I don't know what's going on with Prodigy either. I don't know. It's just... I just don't understand why they would decide to do this kind of stuff, because they're alienating half the planet. More than half.
Yeah, way more than half. Yeah. All of the planet except 2 countries.
Except for the 2 best countries. But,
well,
it is the way it is. Anyway.
I mean, I know the most viewers of the shows are in those 2 places. Yes, single-handedly, you're sure, but still most of the world is not.
SVS Guru 2000 puts in €5. After Thursday, no more worthwhile Trek until Prodigy resumes in 2022. Well, you don't know that. I mean, season 3 of Discovery was better. Season 4 might be awesome. Who knows? We're going to be here.
Although it's another
holding your hands all the way through it.
Well, it's another universe-destroying thing, so can't get away with this universe.
Depends how it's handled. Depends how it's written. Maybe they've learned. I don't know. We'll see.
So just for clarity, the current world population is 7.8 billion, and the Discovery now only reaches a possible 432 million. So there's currently 7.3 billion people that have now locked out. So 7.3 billion people have just excluded from watching Discovery season 4. 7.3 billion.
And I just heard a huge sigh of relief from all those people. As if millions of voices suddenly cried out in
happiness.
Relief.
Yeah. I was thinking that you had such a tone about you. But isn't that crazy, though? Because, I mean, if it was available in 119 countries, you're looking at billions of people can watch it. And now less than 500 million can watch it. Wow. And, obviously, everything's going to be spoiled. Like, nothing... Like, the viewership is... We know that when Discovery Season 1 came out on terrestrial TV, the viewership was absolutely awful. Like hundreds of thousands, not even a million views. It was really bad because who cares? You know, it's not okay. You know, but yeah, wow.
Well, they're just encouraging pirating and different ways of getting to see it. So, SVS Guru 2005 euros. I honestly thought season 3 of Discovery was the worst of the three. To me, the show had been on a continuous decline. Well,
wow.
I totally disagree with that. It started off on the wrong foot and then tripped and fell and slid its face across the floor for a while. Then season 2 happened. It got picked up by Pike.
And then fell down a bit, but not quite as far.
Yeah, and then season 3, it stumbled onto its knees.
And then Michelle Paradise put her hand out, lifted it up out of the dirt of that era.
And then it started to jog a little bit.
Yeah.
So who knows what season 4 will be like? Maybe it'll be running.
Well,
who knows?
I'm intrigued. Can you say why you like season 1 the most? Because each season has been radically rebooted. Can you explain why? We'd love to hear.
I understand why people like season 2 because of the Pike stories. There's a little bit more episodic feel, but
although,
let us know.
No one says they love season 2 for the show. They say they love it for Pike and Spock, which are the additional elements to the show that's based on old canon, which is always an indictment on the show. If the best thing is not the stuff about the show in the show.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about it being removed from 7.5 billion people?
It's dumb. It's one of the dumbest decisions they could do. I don't understand. They say licensing rights and licensing agreements and whatever. Stop. Just no. They're shooting themselves in the foot with it, honestly, because not everybody can get Paramount Plus or be in North America. I mean, VPN. I don't know if that works to get Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's ways to do it with VPNs, which are legal ways. Essentially, you're still giving Paramount Plus money if you have a membership. So
I'm paying for a VPN.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of people pay for VPNs regardless.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So a lot of people pay for Netflix. But what's interesting about the situation, beyond the obviousness, is that it's a symptom of an interesting decision, is that they bought out their Netflix contract. So in season 1, they partnered with Netflix as a way of funding Discovery, season 1, in which Discovery paid the entire bill. And so season 1 Discovery was totally free for Paramount, no risk, first been shown 15 years, whatever. Season 2, they, who could argue with the bad ratings of season 1, etc., and the bad quality. And then they declined to take Picard or Lower Decks or Prodigy, and that says something about the shows if they had to shop around and get, Amazon Prime, and now finally buying out the contract means Paramount should have paid many tens of millions to get back the rights, to get back the ability to do it, and now they're the sole payers, which does mean that logically at some point Picard or when that or just that finishes, because that's Nickelodeon paid for Prodigy, but I'm sure they did a more harsh contract and Lower Decks is exclusive to. I think Amazon just distributes; they don't help fund it at all. So they wanted to buy out and do it themselves and have no interference. I'm sure Netflix was happy about that because they don't, Discovery's not necessarily been a good promotional publicity thing, but no longer tied to Netflix, and therefore nothing on Netflix's Trek anymore. So it kind of one big whopper. Because I think when Discovery came on Netflix, it was also everything else came with it. Not that we got it on UK Netflix for a little bit, but yeah, full on buyout. The contract still was going to last a few, longer.
Yeah, and I think by the time it is available worldwide, that most people would have. Well, a lot of people don't care at this point, but a lot of people will have already seen it, and it's not worth really rewatching, probably.
Well, what's happened in Discovery Season 1? I mean, it wasn't out for the rest of the world. We reviewed it. There were spoilers daily on Facebook, on Amazon. Even StarTrek.com, they were promote. Do you really think StarTrek.com isn't going to show spoilers every time? Like the trailer for next week on your feed, you might check it out, which will be able to be watched. That spoils the episode. Like, they will ruin it for the rest of the world who can't watch it legally because they care about their primary viewers only. Very strange. Now, if it was January 1st, that would be a little bit different. It's like saying, okay, well, we've now made it, boom, fresh contract with ourselves. but it's like a nebulous, you know. And maybe they'll have Paramount Plus launch the rest of the world with like the next show. So, you know, Strange New World launches Prodigy worldwide, launches Paramount Plus worldwide. Like,
it'd be a strange new world of sharing all this with the world.
There you go. And you get Discovery as well. It's like, who the hell cares at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Liam, we're sorry. Yeah.
Well, you can watch them after you watch the episodes. That's the thing. They're always going to be here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're always going to be, and they're worth rewatching because it is a review, not just a live talking about whatever. So.
Yeah, and it's just, and I heard some people saying that it was very likely because they announced that a few days until 2 days until, but right after the Destination Star Trek convention, because they had 5 Discovery actors going. And,
oh my God! Seriously?
Well, and the head of brand recognition, John Van Sitters. Do you really think if they had have announced it 2 weeks ago or even a week ago, do you not think they would have said, "Oh, Discovery actor, what happened? You are here for us, and none of us can see your work in season 4." Obviously, they don't know, but do you not think they would have got a lot of blowback?
Yeah, they would have, absolutely. But it's such a douche move to know this ahead
days
of time.
After. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, within 3 days, because that's the window they had. They had this little bit of time. Because we were sort of celebrating Discovery Season 4 a little bit at the event. I'm sure they had just talked about it, and it's very strange. But Discovery is a grand old clusterfuck of a show. You know, it's the worst of the new Treks. It's the worst of the old Treks. You know, it's a weird one. It's a weird anomaly, and they are going to keep it going as long as possible to show it wasn't a failure. Because once they stop it, they admit it was a failed concept overall. But we've all moved on. You know, we got some Low Decks and Prodigy and maybe Picard season 2 and 3. Maybe Stranger Worlds. Maybe.
Las Fias Gurus answered our question with 20 euros.
Boom.
Thanks so much. Season 1 was held up by Lorca as a Jellicoat captain until they ruined him. Season 2 was held up by Pike in a few Trekkie episodes. Season 3 had nothing to hold it up, in my opinion. Even the burn was worse than the Red Angel plot. I definitely disagree about the burn being worse than the Red Angel plot, for sure. Lorca, they never really ruined him. I liked him as the Jellicoe type character, but I also liked him as the Mirror Universe guy.
Well, he became Trump for 2 episodes and the most one-dimensional villain ever.
Oh.
But that's his last 2 episodes. He was good up until the moment where he says to the guy, "And I did fuck her," you know, that bit. And then it becomes a shitty non-character, because they swapped like tone entirely. You know, when you say make the Empire great again, you kind of ruined it for yourself. Have some nuance, maybe. No, okay, well, you know, that's not what Discovery is. Although I'm surprised he doesn't say that Vance held up season 3. Because that would be a similar allegory to the other 2 characters that you just mentioned. Vance is an exceptional character.
He's probably going to say probably thinks he wasn't in it enough. Because Vance wasn't in it as much as Lorca was and stuff, so. Or Pike.
Sure. Not as much as Pike, but he had a strong impression. I think lots of stuff held up season 3. Better stories helps. Just real stories.
Being in somewhere in the future where you don't have to worry about shoehorning into canon also helped a lot. So
the sense of exploration, a sense of hope throughout, the sense of bringing back the Federation, the sense of the values being properly given, the fact that every character got better because they rebooted them. Michael Burnham was more watchable. Saru was pretty good. Book was really good. Vance, like I said, was a fantastic. The decent 1-by-1 episodes in the Grand arc was relatively well balanced. You know, I think the show itself, like, it didn't. If everything about it is one character, one male actor character captain can hold up a show enough for you, and that's the thing. Whereas so many other, like, the filmmaking was so bad in the other 2 seasons, but the filmmaking got better. Like, all the other aspects were being pulled up by season 3. Yes, there wasn't a singular, captain male Federation lead to. Well, there was Vance, but like everything else was just so much higher that made the average higher, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We got 73 likes with 65 people. I'm wondering if we can get to 80 likes. It's 7 more. It should be very doable. I think 7 of you probably haven't hit that like button. Super chats are going pretty good, so keep that up, guys. Let us know your thoughts on all of this.
Yeah.
We could kind of sidetrack a bit to talk about the international release date thing, but we still got to talk about the sleeper ship thing. So,
well, the audience voted with their free likes. But Richie does
voted with their votes.
Sorry, yes they did. Smart me. Richie Apple says Paramount Plus has been available in the US for several years. Why has it taken so long to launch in the UK? Yeah. It's bizarre. It is very bizarre. I mean, didn't it launched? Well, it almost launched with Discovery, and then it didn't.
Carlos says, what is the black female doctor's name on Discovery? We don't know.
I don't know.
But she's very likely the chief medical officer, because Dr. Culber isn't.
And there's no one else there.
No. She does have a name. I just don't know it. So I barely know Reese and Bryce's name. What?
Rice and masala and chipotle and.
Yeah, and I wish I knew less of Detmer. So.
I was so close to getting a signed print from her for you, but I didn't. Because I said to Stuart that I was going to go to the Detmer actor at the destination because she was there. We didn't get to speak. I would have spoken to her, but I didn't get to because I was so busy getting other prints. I was going to have her signed to Stuart. Like, I know I'm your favourite character in Trek or favourite pilot or something really, and it makes to my number one fan, Stuart Foley, love Detmer or something.
It has to be Captain Foley.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
And then I would send him in the post and he'd be like,
I'm just going to do every time we do a Mirror Universe episode, I would have that on the wall on one side. And I'd have Johnny sign print of the Roberta Prey saying your most favorite ship on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Pollard. Well, there you go. But I don't know the first name.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Pollard. Yeah. A Method to Freedom. Yeah, CBS All Access launched in 2016 for US. Discovery launched in 2017. Paramount Plus launched in 2019. But Paramount Plus is CBS All Access. Same service, changed name. Once the companies combined, it's the same thing. And it was meant to launch with Discovery and then didn't because they delayed because they, changed all of the scripts. They started from scratch at the time. But I mean, we'll still be doing reviews, so check it out. All our breakdowns. People expect us to. Hey, our audience is mostly American. We know this. It's fine.
Analytics don't lie.
No. And the thing is, people. I mean, even with it being internationally locked, once a picture goes out on a Facebook forum, that spreads to every corner of the internet, and the Discovery Enterprise was one of the spoiled me. There's so many little things that this is why whenever we do a Lower Decks and Prodigy, not so much, people don't really talk about it in the same way. There's not really a big online buzz, but especially season 1 Discovery and season 2, I could not look at my Facebook in the morning until I watched a video because someone posted something, mostly in season 1 because there's something objectionable happening, 2 dicks or whatever. But it's like, you can't. The information will come out, and however much we want to ignore our feed, once you see something, you can't unsee it, Yeah.
Ryan Fogarty puts in $5. Oh, we hit 80 likes.
Boom.
20 more now. Let's get to 100.
Yeah.
But Ryan puts in $5 and says, Discovery was the public face of Trek because Netflix. Netflix declined the other series, so Paramount was stuck with a show that hurt the brand. What makes me wonder what's going on with Picard then? Is Picard, because wasn't Picard on Prime?
Mm-hmm.
So is it still going to be on Prime, available internationally?
We assume.
Well, it'll be 2022 because it's starting in February, so.
Well, that is the problem with having your own streaming service. If everything goes to the one service, then you have to get it, and especially the ecosystem we've had for years now. It's like Disney Plus is the only way you can watch Mandalorian or Hawkeye or. But then also once you've committed, that's why you need enough things to be worth it. So it does make sense. I know I said this in Discovery Season 1. If they'd had it worldwide from day one, and because originally, like we'd said, it was meant to launch with Discovery, and that was a big drive. Trek has launched its new brand. It didn't, but it would have. And if they'd said at the time, okay, if we get 500,000 subscribers, we'll remaster Voyager Season 1, 1 million, TNG Season 1, DS9 Season 1, you know, have those things. So Trek fans could rally to the cause, because we absolutely would, for you know, $8 a month, whatever, or the pound equivalent, and generate it. Now, obviously, it's so, with everything, who cares? But I guess if everything's on there, that's kind of what you want. But Netflix has been home for years. It's kind of weird to not have it there.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of it's reminiscent of when the UPN network launched. Its flag show was Voyager.
Yep.
UPN didn't last very long, so maybe they learned their lesson. Like, we're not launching anything with a Star Trek show. Don't know.
Yeah.
Oliver Lavery Farag puts in £5.
Thank you.
Hi, Sam. It was great to see you at Destination on the weekend.
Hey.
Do you think that Amazon will pick up all of the Star Trek International releases now?
Well, they won't have a chance. The whole point of Paramount Plus launching the world is that they don't have to pay. They don't have to license them out. People have to come and buy your service a month. International distribution only worked when you didn't have your own service. So we will not see these shows once the contracts run out, unless Prime was like, no, we want every single season of Picard, dotted line, you know. So yeah, I can see this stuff being, you know, why is Prodigy not on any other service? It's on Nickelodeon, which is who half bought it, and Paramount Plus. Like, there is no international distribution because they're waiting for their own thing to come out, I guess, and paying the price of not getting those views, but they're not necessarily as confident on it. So no, it won't be on Prime, it won't be on whatever. You need to pay for what you pay for.
And Colin says, actually, there is a thought. Did Netflix have any input into Discovery's production, and will they now be able to make changes that perhaps Netflix might not agree to? No. Netflix didn't have any. All they had to overcome was Brian Fuller's bullshit, and they had to stumble across all that. Unfortunately, that's why season 1 and a lot of season 2 are kind of So no, I don't think Netflix had any input on the show at all.
I bet they wish they had that in their contract now. In hindsight,
yeah.
Well, I don't think that Paramount would have given them that power, because they were meant to be the lucky to get the first Trek in 20 years to come out, or 15 years at that point. That was the thing, wasn't it? Trek is always successful in some way or another. They always get Trekkies in. If Trekkies buy Netflix, they'll watch other stuff and they'll stay. That's the idea. But if you make a shitty product, what are you going to do? You know. But I mean, the thing is, Brian Fuller had such a good reputation, so he seemed like a sure bet.
Yeah. Yep. Will the world still have spoiler-free Trekyards reviews? Nope. Only for the first episode.
And last episode.
And last episode. Yeah, we don't do them for everyone because just the numbers don't warrant doing them, and just it's too much time. So
yeah, even though they're not much time, but it mounts up, you know, because people want spoiler reviews. Weirdly enough, we like the idea of we can give our initial thoughts, but yeah, it's not yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I don't know what to make of this international thing. It just kind of hit me out of the.
Well, it's everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a dodgy move, really. Because they should wait and transition. Well, I guess they can't really transition the show from one service to another mid-service. You either start it on one or end it on one, and then you're committing to 13 weeks of, because people are going to because they're thinking people around the world are going to resubscribe to Netflix potentially just to watch Discovery, and so they might be getting 13 weeks of income. Whereas if they stop it, then even if you get a third of those people in 2022, you've now gained money you literally wouldn't have had because Netflix isn't paying for the season at all. So it's taking an initial hit for getting a long-term medium gain, and then now it's yours. And I mean, that's the fact is, if we all still came back and watched off Discovery season 1, Trekkies are suckers. We came back.
We're optimists.
Shame on us, Yes, we had to make it better, but, shame on us. They know they're going to watch anyway. At least most people, or at least a lot of people.
Yeah. David puts in £2 and says the official Star Trek Twitter will spoil season 4 for non-North America.
Yep. Oh, bye, Deborah. Yep, 100%.
See you, Devo.
And like their Instagram's gonna post pictures because they've like the Discovery A was plastered over social media, which is great for us who've watched it, but they don't give a shit about spoilers. And it's like you know your brand is about watching for the first time and enjoying it. If you spoil everything, it's very strange.
Lower than the lowest deck says, okay, I went back last night and watched all 4 episodes back to back. It's hooked me now.
Hey, good.
Yeah, I knew you were a little hesitant about some of it, so
Okay.
good to hear that. Yeah. I walked out of Into Darkness. It broke me into being a completionist. Broke me of being a completionist. Ryan, what the hell? I've never walked out on a movie. Especially Star Trek. Anything Star Trek I will watch. I don't understand that mindset. Nothing's ever that bad. Just tune out after a while and just kind of sit there and enjoy your popcorn.
Laugh at it. You know.
Yeah.
Better understand the enemy than to walk out. You know. But yeah, certainly not good. And I'm certainly excited for you and me when we eventually get those reviews, and they'll have to be drunk reviews because come on, they're shit. It'll be a billion little things they've done wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, anything we don't like, we need to take a drink.
Well, that's a... Oh my god. But can you imagine a 4-hour Drunkyards review of Into Darkness? See, I can imagine that. That's the problem. It's very much practical. And wouldn't you want to see that, guys? A 4-hour review of... And then someone does someone does a supercut of our best bits from it. Hour 1, we're sober. Hour 2, we're not sober. Hour 3, we're venting. Hour 4, we're crying. So ends our bonanza on whatever the thing's called.
Into Darkness.
Thank you. Yes.
Nathan says, on another stream, you guys missed escape pods on Archimedes. Did you ever notice them?
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, they're right there. We did. I mean, if you mean stream, that must have been the episode review stream. We did like a very long 40-minute review of the ship. We looked at every angle. We didn't miss him in that. So yes. So straight. Let's go back to the Alpha Quadrant sleeper ship.
Yes, that's what started all this.
Yes.
What were your thoughts when you heard the line? You asked me mine, but I haven't had a chance to ask yours.
No, that's the sort of world building you desperately need for this sort of show, where it's so removed from the world. You can just enjoy and savor a Starfleet ship and walk on it and enjoy being in the world. These kids don't like Starfleet characters. They don't like Star Trek aliens, even though some of them are, which is one of the confusing things. The ship looks JJ close enough to be, out of your brain space a little bit. And so hearing all those little things like the Trojan system, whatever, they deepen it instantly into the world that just being isn't enough for this show. Whereas Lower Decks is the opposite. They can show anything and not mention it. And that's so they can walk into that store and see a Terran Empire symbol or whatever, and be like, okay, great. Like, they don't need to say it. And yet they still do. But I also like the cavalier nature of it. Not everything needs to be a massive world-ending event. We talked about that earlier. And so just having be, oh yeah, my mum and dad came on a sleeper ship from the Alpha Quadrant. It was great. I got captured. It sucks. That's my life. It's like, what? That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've lived it my whole life, but I don't know. I was 4 when I woke up. It's fine. And that's interesting. That's really... It's meaningful yet being so simple. And I don't even know if we ever need to see the ship. Like, in the context of like a flashback. Does the ship have to be active? Maybe. I mean, that might be the long play. Maybe we may have to do something that involves something, and they say, well, my family can help. Your family? Yeah! Jake and Pog on the sleeper ship. My dad might be awake. Well, what? And then we fly to it. It's like, oh my god, there's a really cool Tellarite ship.
I think with his nature, just the way he seems like a good-natured Tellarite, he seems happy to be doing the mechanics work and all that on the... He might be under the impression that his ship was damaged or destroyed some natural way, like it hit an asteroid or something like that. And he's going to find out eventually that it was, in fact, the diviner that did it, was responsible. I can see him getting a little bit pissed off. That might be a thing, too. Like, he might not know the full truth as to what happened, necessarily.
Maybe launch an escape pod at one point crashed on this night, and then the escape pod was picked up by this guy, not knowing the guy attacked the ship, and now he's a slave. But it's like, oh yeah, he saved me. The diviner saved me, but most of my crew died. Yeah, I mean something simple as that would be interesting. Because yeah, he's too mild-mannered to be, a huge loss, unless it was when he was like 5. But then, the context of the note was not something that, in a distant dream of my world back in the past. It was like, oh yeah, my mum made this like for 15 years. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carlos says the mention of it did not impact me in the slightest.
Oh.
Well, it impacted us because they're in the Delta Quadrant, and everybody's wondering how Tellarites and Alpha Quadrant species got there. So that one little line for the Tellarites at least was like, ooh, okay, cool. It was just a little breadcrumb that they dropped, which unfortunately other shows like Discovery and Picard really don't do. They don't explain anything. They don't have the proper writing for it. So
yeah, I mean, let's talk, please, let's talk about the Romulan people evacuation. Oh no, we're gonna move on. Okay. But that was your entire stuff. No, it wasn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Matthew DeFleetus $2.
Thank you.
Cat, Star Trek Into Darkness review remastered edition. Love it. Are you asking me to do a remastered one, or this is the one that I uploaded on the effectively personal channel? It's weird when I upload, because Sylvia and I did the 2009 review.
Mm-hmm.
Got got blocked in most countries on Trekyards.
Yep.
When I uploaded it to the Captain Foley personal channel, they haven't touched it. Tried to upload it again to Trekyards, got blocked again. But Into Darkness, I think we've done that one and posted it. I don't remember.
Well, it's the bots. I mean, bigger channels get noted.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
makes sense to me.
Anyway, thank you. Ryan says, puts in $2 and says, having a full telepath is something new for Trek TV.
Not overused yet, sort of not even underused, just sort of there. We'll see how the vibe is.
Don't forget Gwen and her abilities.
I do not. I'm excited, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean... So, I mean, just the little nugget of the sleeper ship was great because it allows speculation of, it's a little explanation as to why there are Tellarites in the Delta Quadrant, which is a big deal. So that's why we're excited, Carlos. I mean, I understand a lot of people might have missed it or don't care. They're just enjoying the show. But for people that are interested in the little minutia and the explanation for things, it's really an important deal. Well,
if you recall, when the poster came out, everyone said, oh, he's a Talaxian.
Yeah,
because he looks Talaxian.
Yeah.
And so when it's revealed as Tellarite, not only were like, no, he doesn't. Okay, I guess he is. But also, well, that doesn't make sense. So it was a question straight from the start. Not so much with the non-corporeal life form, because who knows what about them, so vague. But to have a choice to have a... So I feel like it's gonna be something important. I think they're gonna find the ship. I think they're gonna do something with it. Maybe it has Federation star charts they need, or something with some... Yeah. No, I think they'll be... I'm just picturing this big, long ship, Tellerite, and they come aboard, and there's a whole Tellarite armor,
Facts. D. Daniels says, pre-Federation launch date. How old is Pog? It's probably like 15, 16. So, we're not sure. Why was it launched? What caused them to send it in the first place? Sleeper ship, so it could be set up a colony. It could just be for
exploration,
a scientific research thing. Like, yeah, there's a lot of different reasons. We just don't know. We don't know how big the ship was.
It could just be a rich guy on Tellar that said, "Hey, I really want to go to that star. Let's go." Like this character does not whatever represent the parents that brought him into the world. If they were high-end scientists for the Tellar government, and now it's 150 years later, he ain't. So
maybe his parents were criminals and trying to escape from the Alpha Quadrant, start a new life.
Genetically engineered super soldier that literally can it up. Yeah. Ryan
puts in another $2. Thank you.
Hey.
He uses the Star Trek Online Tellarite design. I didn't know there was any difference.
I wouldn't think
I also need to look that up.
I mean, they're the same as Enterprise ones, except the ladies have no beards. But I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with my ladies having no beards as well.
I mean,
yeah, I mean it's the same.
Yeah.
I don't understand the reference.
Super faithful, better than inconvenience. What? But no, the only thing about this though is that it doesn't. Well, I mean, we haven't seen any other ones, but it wouldn't. This is like using their shot of this answer. This is a sleeper ship guy. Cool. The next alien race we see has to be some other unique explanation. But once I said that, we haven't seen random aliens. Only the Medusan, and we have no logic of when, where, how, who they came from. So yeah, if this is the only like Alpha Quadrant race in the show, then okay, yeah, sleeper ship. There you go. You've solved the question.
Medusans are non-corporeal, so it's hard to say how they get around or.
They're real sci-fi aliens.
Yeah. Pog and Zero seem to be adults on their species equivalent. No. Pog does not seem at all like an adult. Zero could be like 100, but that could be, if Medusan lives for 1,500 years, still young. You know what I mean? So.
Well, and is even lived the right word existed. You've got no heart, no pulse.
True.
But, I mean, if you've seen the Enterprise ones, I mean, he's clearly not an adult. He's too small. He hasn't got any hair, and he acts not at all like an adult. So, and again, they've told us they're all under 18.
Yeah,
they're all children. In the context of not adults.
And Ryan says the Brickar, which is rock, are Alpha Quadrant. They're from the New Frontier novels. There's another Alpha Quadrant one, so.
But obviously 99% of fans won't know that.
Wow, 94%.
No, yeah, let's be precise. And even so, since I'm sure the novel doesn't go into much detail about them per se, who's to say how they got where? But sure, yeah. And they also said that Murph is also a thing that we've seen.
We've seen some shit, though. It's been a lot of Trek. So, who knows?
But it's a great explanation, and it's simple, and it is very much the Klingon D7 approach that they did in Voyager. But why wouldn't you? And it is exciting to say, pre-NX Tellarites. Because all you need is one ship. That's the thing. This isn't about the great Tellarite expansion fleet.
Migration of 23.
Exactly. Yeah, one ship decided to go left and up. And keep going.
Yeah. It could be too that they were going somewhere completely different, got knocked off course.
Yeah.
Like shit like that happens, so.
Yeah, exactly. There's either way, all roads led them there, and he seems fine with it. But not colony, not generational. Very specific sleeper ship, and that does give you a very specific context.
Well, Oliver puts in 5 pounds and says, "Is it me or does Drinking Pog look like a half Tellarite when you compare them on the screen?" No, I think he looks very Tellarite, but he looks like he might be. What the hell is Neelix?
Talaxian.
Yes, half Tellarite, half Talaxian. I would buy that, but.
Yeah, no, I would be very pleasantly thrilled if he was a 50-50. Because it's nice. It means that his mum, was in cryosleep. They fell in love with a random alien in the Delta Quadrant, and then had him. Yeah,
I just want to check on one thing. I'll be right back.
Yeah, adds nice complexity to the story, and he can still be a Tellarite in everything but random other things. It's fine. Yeah, but how are you guys doing? You guys doing good? We're at $50 from our minimum, so we are doing well. But no, it's just another example of the show wanting to answer canon questions, although they've let plot hole questions go. But we like canon questions. And Colin has an interesting question, though, which I will certainly bring up to Stuart when he comes back. Although I don't think the timings work. Oh, boy, the sleep ship is a fast ship. Well, I mean, my brain's obviously My brain obviously links to potentials, but I'll wait for Stuart. Yeah, I was going to say who's excited for Discovery this week, but I guess less of you are now. But who is excited for Discovery this week for a few of the people? And our reviews, obviously. Because, as you guys know, it's a double bill for us, the Prodigy review and the Discovery review, which is going to be an exceptional amount of work, and I can't say I'm particularly looking forward to the work side of it. The review, sure, Tom Stewart, yes, but not so much the actual work side of it. But yes, we're going to be doing on Thursday the Prodigy review like normal, and Friday we'll take over the Discovery review, and that will be, boy, busy. So expect a lot.
All right. So I got my Worlds of the Federation book. I looked up Medusans. So that's what their electromagnetic containment canisters usually look like.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a little bit of something.
Let's see. Highly intelligent, non-physical beings that are electromagnetic and... I'm just trying to find out if I can find see how long they live. Electromagnetic in composition. Contact between the Medusans and the Federation have been extremely limited. The native Medusans have demonstrated vastly advanced scientific abilities and possess telepathic capabilities far more advanced than those of any other Federation member race. When necessary, Medusans can travel aboard United Federation planet vessels by remaining within highly specialized electromagnetic containers involved in such close contact with the humanoid races. While their thoughts are sublime in nature, the Medusans' physical appearance is so hideous that a humanoid viewer will be immediately rendered insane. Specialized shields can filter out the remaining frequencies, lessening the risk of those nearby. Medusans have developed interstellar navigation into a fine art and are extraordinary starship navigators. Their talent is the result of their radically different sensory systems. One theory holds that they are able to electromagnetically identify and lock onto thousands of guide stars simultaneously, including those beyond deep sensor range. These life forms have a distinct sense of beauty and have delighted in the many forms of art available to them since their entry to the Federation. So it doesn't say how long they live. But, yeah, just talks about their navigational prowess again. So, and I saw something interesting about the Medusan too while I was heading over this way. Or not the Medusan, the Tellarites. Let's see. All right. While largely humanoid, Tellarites do not sport several noticeable variations upon the human form. Their lower limbs are hooved, ending in hardened, split dermal pads with dew claws in the rear. This feature is almost unknown among biped species, making Tellarites most uncommon in that aspect. They also have a heightened sense of balance, despite their rather rotund body shape. While their senses of hearing and smell are extremely keen, Tellarite eyesight is quite poor. Sharp-eyed at birth, young Tellarites become increasingly nearsighted as they reach adulthood at the age of 12 Terran years old. Young are born live, almost always in groups of 6. Life expectancy is lower than that of most advanced species. Tellarite males average a lifespan of 87 Terran years, while females generally live to the age of 93. Tellarites have an advanced aptitude for engineering, and they contribute much to Federation science in the fields of propulsion and structural design. So we have a navigator in the form of a Medusan, an advanced navigator. We have a Tellarite who is structural integrity and engines, and we have a mysterious engine aboard the Protostar. Will these things come together? Who knows? I don't think the Breenock or whatever is in here. No. But yeah, that's helpful, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't say how long Medusan lives. But that's okay. Let's see. Langley says, I'm assuming it's contemporary with Picard. It will depend on how old Chakotay is. No, this is 2383. This is a few years after Voyager. This is before Picard.
2 years before the flashback and like 7 before the main event. So it's quite a bit before.
Yeah, 2 years before Children of Mars. Yeah.
Yes. Big event that is actually not that meaningful if you break it down. Interesting stuff, Stuart. Obviously, while I loved hearing all that, it's not canon, which is annoying because it was well thought out. But
yeah, I think
you'd like to think they'd read it.
Yeah, they use a lot of this stuff as reference. I would hope so.
I'd hope so too. Cool. I mean, it's fun stuff. 12 being adult for them, but
yeah. Oliver puts in another £5. Is it me or just? Oh, never mind. Read that one. Sorry. SVS Guru 2000 puts in €10.
Ah, thank you.
If Zero was part of the original crew and being an energy being, they could have been reset to a more juvenile state as a result of the crash, while still retaining knowledge about the ship's tech.
That's a bold theory.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know anything about the tech because can't fly it, doesn't know what the drive is, mysterious about the drive. I mean, might have had amnesia, but doesn't know anything about the ship, it seems. Maybe just about its existence. I mean, yeah.
S1 Noir. Medusans make the cetaceans feel for fear for their jobs. Yes. Much more advanced navigation.
I have put up a new poll, guys, so please do vote. Are you excited for Discovery Season 4, which would have been started this week to 7.9 billion people, but now only for 500,000. 500 million, sorry. That'd be a lot less. Yes, very much. Somewhat. I'll watch it, but I'm not excited. And no, just no. Please vote, guys. Ventured about that.
And Area 51 throws in $5.
Dang.
Sorry I'm late. Stomping around the woods on my vacation. Here's my penance. Praise be to the great koala.
Well, only a penitent man can pass, so makes sense.
True. 2 more likes to hit 100, guys. Another $40 would be awesome, kind of as a minimum. But
yes, we're getting close. We are getting close.
Area 51 is currently the last Super Chat slot. He did not get the number 1 slot. He did not get the first strike today because he's been out and about. But Sergeant Montgomery got the first strike. So if anybody wants that last Super Chat slot, snipe away.
But no, it's another good reveal, and you know, every episode they've done a few things that are a little bit plot holey, a few things that are really quite exciting, and a few things that are quite confusing. And I mean, let's be honest, Stuart, which are you more looking forward to seeing? Discovery Season 4, Episode 1, or Prodigy Season 1, Episode 5?
Sorry, you got it there.
Which are you more excited for seeing, Discovery or Prodigy this week?
I'm excited for both. I think Prodigy is probably not going to be as exciting as I expect it to be, but I'm still more excited for Prodigy, I would think. Yeah,
I'm excited to see. You know, I know there'll be a fun mystery in Discovery, but I don't know the setup yet. So I want to see what happens in Prodigy more. But I'm sure I will be more impressed by the journey in Discovery, because I mean, money is just so much more. The first one is the LED walls, obviously, which will be interesting. New uniforms, new blasters, maybe Vance kicking ass. If it's 55 minutes, that's a lot more Trek to enjoy. It's over twice the length of a Prodigy episode, so I'll be excited for that.
And Area 51 says, "I'm glad I started a thing now." Yes, you did. First Super Chat, because it's his message was first strike hit like. So there you go.
Good phraseology.
Good job. You'll always be remembered. Area 51 is the one that started the first strike Super Chat. Sci-Fi Nation puts in $2. I did it for the likes.
It's good.
Ooh, we hit 100. That's awesome.
That is good. I'd love to see another $15, guys. We're definitely out of things to say. We had a good, really vibrant at the start. So 15 more bucks. Oh, and vote in the poll as well.
That should have been one of your poll options. No, just looking forward to Prodigy continuing.
Oh. Yeah.
Because I think that might have won. I'm just saying. This is very close, though.
It's interesting.
39 votes. Everybody go vote on the poll. Yes. We want to get to as close to 100 votes as we can get.
Oh, and Ozzy's wondering if the shuttle door will be closed. I mean, but that's the point, though. It was such an embarrassing thing to not fix in CG. It's presumably just a deliberate mistake, as put You could argue putting the rubber ducky is an embarrassing thing to do. You could argue that. So, you know, oh, it's deliberately always open.
Yeah, but the rubber ducky's an Easter egg. It's hard to spot. It's once you know it's there, it's like an inside joke. They even make the rubber ducky room on lower decks a thing. So.
But who's looking at the shuttle bay door? You know?
Everyone.
Well.
Well. Because the ship's always flying away from us because it's chicken shit.
Ouch. Ouchie, ouch. But no, we had our video today talking about the Horogen system, which is a really great debate about the Horogen home system and what that means for things and bobs. We had a really good debate a day ago on the tech, which was really interesting. Before that, we looked at the Prodigy transwarp effect, the breakdown for that. Before that, a distinct thing about the triquadrant phaser. Up and coming, we've got 2 more videos, 2 more topics, both edited, both are ready to go, so do enjoy those. And I'll have a slew of things throughout the next week. Obviously, I'm sure there'll be more content we can possibly look at. But okay, we can pick our battles.
Do what we can.
And obviously, these live topics are a great way of adding, you know, having an even more. So we don't have to do the same stuff from our main videos. But there'll be a ton of stuff. So I expect to kind of swap between Discovery and Prodigy on the days, etc. Depending on how much they give us on Prodigy. I mean, if we see Commander Captain Chakotay and a new ship, that might get, you know. Well, that's the thing, Stuart. Who will get the Saturday slot for ship? They'll be fighting because only one thing can get a Saturday slot. Which show? Which asset? Who will win out?
And does one show get both Saturday and Sunday slot, or are we going to split it? Depends how good.
Depends how good.
You know, it depends what's presented to us, I guess.
If we get the, you know, Excelsior F, I was like, God damn it, that looks so good. You know, or if they find an old Constitution class in the rubble, it's like, oh my God, we found a Connie. Let's talk about that.
Well, the first episode is called Kobayashi Maru, so
yes, that's an interesting.
It's probably just a decision a hard decision, so it's not no one scenario, but hopefully,
yeah,
see something cool.
Someone's gonna die. Oh God, can you imagine if like Vance dies in the first episode? Oh, that'd suck. That'd really suck. Come on, can we get 50 votes on our poll, guys? We've got 45. Throw some 50.
Tangerine Star 26, who's been a member for 15 months at the rank of commander. Not been around for a while. Away with work, sorry. We have missed you. Have missed you in the name, so thank you for joining us.
When can you return? Thank you for the bob around, but when are you coming back?
We cannot continue without you.
Oh goodness. Oh no.
And Dave puts in £2. Odds on Disco A or Book's ship being destroyed in season 4. Pretty good. Not for the Disco, but for Book's ship. I could see Book's ship being sacrificed at some point.
I would assume it more be a case if we see the Voyager J's bridge and that gets destroyed, maybe, or like severely damaged. Would be my, because Bookship is so small and interchangeable, and the set's quite nice. And well, yeah, how many ships are going to be in it? Is it going to be a ship focus season? They've now got the fleet. They've got the, you know, we can see all the ships in the Eaglemoss book and have a sense of them now. We'll see. We'll see. Well, guys, one more vote and one more super chat, and then we can close out today. And we'll see what Prodigy has store for us this week.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be busy last little bit of the week.
And then obviously Christmas is around the corner, and how we have to schedule stuff or not. I've got a lot of stuff to do as well in between, and oi. But I did get my script written yesterday, Stuart.
Good.
I was about to spoil what it was, but I haven't said publicly. But the one with the, you know, the one. I got to, yeah. I got to the end. It's many pages. It's more because it's the only Horizon-centric story. So it's like, well, it is what it is. I'm filming that on the 26th, 27th, 28th. Nick is around in the evening, so not going to film much, but something. He has 3 costume changes. And you know. I will say he's in his he's in my Rathacon costume for a scene because we knew he fitted live on air, so he's in that, which is fun.
And Eric Martin throws in $5 with a sleeper snipe.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
That's good. I think there's like 6 or 7 ships we see in the thing to different points for different reasons. It's very ship. Like there's so many little scenes that take place. I just haven't have all the models, so it's kind of like, oh, what can I use that's different? I just swapped the first ship because you know the thing that we're finding, right? Or that's finding us.
COVID.
No, in the story, the big thing we haven't seen for a long time. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the movie it's in the ship it finds.
Oh,
and...
that's spoilers right
Well,
there.
it's a little bit. Yeah. Which movie? Which franchise? It could be a story crossover. So the ship it finds in its first scene, it was going to be the same ship, but I've swapped it to another class, a Stan Lee-esque ship, and to kind of be different. So it's the same scene, roughly, but now it's got a whole different vibe. So that was kind of just to make it different, yeah. Did you get that, Stuart?
We're starting with the Stan Lee type ship, or whatever ship.
That's a very easy reference. Come on.
I'm thinking. I don't know. USS Deadpool. Squadra Course.
I'll
puts in
Facebook
$1.
you what I mean, because you'll be like, oh yeah.
Do it. Squadra Course $1. Hoping for that last super chat snipe. But got Tangerine Star 26 here after a long hiatus with £2 saying, glad to see the vibe for Star Trek Picard is positive. Pew. And Eric Sween puts in $2. Now Eric is the last super chat slot. So Eric says, does your mother-in-law knit a great koala? No, she should though.
Good old great koala in the sky.
Oh, I see what you put there, Samuel. All right.
Just a bit of a swap. I think that'll be fun to see. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, that's the ship. Okay. Oh, now I get this damn thing. All right, cool. Yeah.
I thought it was quite clever. Just.
It was absolutely yes. I'm just stupid. So. Squadra Course $1.
Are you excited?
Last super chat slot.
Are you excited for Discovery Season 4? The poll said 29%. Yes, very much. 19%. Somewhat. Winning at 33%. Yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm not excited. And 19% no, just no. That is a very interesting poll result. And that is extremely split. You either love it, you're ambiguous. Or you hate it, or you're meh. Like meh, okay. Almost identical numbers. Interesting.
It is interesting, actually. Speaks to about the fan base.
Sir. Cool. Well, good to see you all. Thanks, everybody. And please, seriously, please do jump in for our both the big reviews end of the week. We're really looking to start off the season strong. So find a way to get them and watch them.
Yeah.
VPNs or not, whatever, and come along because you guys are part of the lightning rod of the we put that down the ground. You guys come in, we hear what you guys think, and we help to vibe together. So we definitely want to hear what you guys think. And I mean, we're certainly coming off a high with, especially the last scene of Discovery Season 3 was such a high note. So we are going to either be positive or be disappointed. I don't think we'll be meh. I think we'll feel something distinct. So I'm really. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Any else thoughts, Stuart?
No. I'm just excited for 2 episodes of Trek on Thursday, and then also kind of dreading it. But anyway.
Well, are you going to watch them both on the same day?
Yes.
How close together? Are you going to give a mental pause? Are you going to watch them back to back? Which again, I haven't been able to do for forever.
I'm going to watch them back to back. I'm going to watch Prodigy, then I'm going to watch Discovery, then I'll go back and watch Prodigy, and then Discovery again. And then I'll have to watch them again later in the day when I watch them with Sylvia. So
I feel like you should do like I did with you that one time. Update number 1, starting Prodigy episode 1. Update number 2, Discovery part 1. So Prodigy part 2. So
update number 1, starting Discovery episode 1, season 4. An hour later, update number 2. Or no. As part of update number 1, feeling good.
Yeah.
An hour later, update number 2, finished Discovery episode Kobayashi Maru, feeling depressed.
Yeah. I'm like, Stuart, have you watched Trek for 2.5 hours? Yes. Actually, no, you should actually like work out, because it's not hard math, but work out how many hours you'll have watched those episodes on Thursday. Just how much of a day is watching those episodes. Because obviously we've also got to film stuff on Thursday. So, yeah. But we're not going to film both. That's not, we'll Prodigy on one day and Discover on the other. Oh,
yeah, Prodigy probably Thursday, I would think. Yeah.
Oi,
Area 51 tries for the last Super Chat slot.
So close.
With $1, but gets sniped out by Squadra Course. So, there you go. Thank you, guys.
Yes. All right. So until next time you see us, he is Captain Foley.
He is Commander Cockings.
That's the calm before the storm.
Yes.
Bye,
Buckle
guys.
up, everyone.
Yes. But is it the Beyond, or is it the Nemesis to be seen seatbelts? Because it'll be a seatbelt, right? Because gonna get bumpy.
Yeah. Area 51, last Super Chat slot. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good job.